But to be clear, you're not taking any arrows out of your quiver. You're not ruling anything out.
Good morning. Sunday morning.
The United States took a huge step towards fascism this week with the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Roger Stone's statement for Trump to enforce martial law if he loses, and the Democrats are refusing to use any method to halt it. How can the U.S. mitigate this shift into authoritarianism?
This is why, as painful as it is to say, I am voting for Joe Biden, the Republican candidate.
They got him. They finally got him.
If I have to choose between a Republican and a fascist, I would choose the Republican for 4 years, and I'm going to do everything in my power to primary him in 24. It's a very scary situation.
But Gabe, real quick, remind the people where you live, so that's why it's significant.
So I live in Miami, Miami proper, which is the home of the
Lakers. The home of the Lakers, Miami.
Home of the Latin conservative, and it's a very scary time. I mean, we have multiple people, and we'll get into each one. But really, it's no longer dog whistling. It's saying the quiet part out loud. They're saying things like martial law. They're saying these things that are truly fascist, and I don't take it lightly at all, because back before they were calling Trump Hitler when he first got elected. I'm like, he didn't do anything yet. Like, what the hell? And then now you're seeing like it's actual calls to action. It's actual things that are very, very, very scary. It's messing with the post office and talking about rigging the election. It's threatening not to step down. It's all these things that the Trump administration and its advisors are coming out with that have made me make the unfortunate choice between fascism, literal fascism, and Republican lights. So
that's why more Latino vote for Biden.
Yeah, that's apparently, man.
So maybe we should talk about what are some of those things that make Trump so dangerous and such a fascist. Right now, we just saw how they designated New York City anarchist jurisdiction. So they basically messing with the funding if you just don't like Trump, pretty much. But all the protests are being considered, everybody that's protesting is considered anarchist, to the point that Bill Barr is talking about charging them with sedition, including politicians in different cities. So even before this, when Bill Barr sent the military to spread get the protections out, so Trump would have this photo up with the Bible, that's something that really shouldn't happen. It never happened before. I mean, using the military in, I can't even describe it. I mean, it's ridiculous that there were generals that were speaking out against it. So it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I also posted a video recently about how a whistleblower came out and they actually said that the military police were thinking about using laser cannons.
Federal officials in June had requested a heat ray and stockpiles of thousands of rounds of ammunition hours before clearing a peaceful protest in Lafayette Square in Washington, D.C.
Folks, we're not making this up. It exists. A heat ray, to be clear, targets people's skin, makes it feel like it's burning. It's a weapon of war that even senior military officials hesitated to use during wartime.
That's authoritarianism right there.
For a photo op.
For a photo op.
What do you say to this? I mean, and on top of that, the elephant in the room that we haven't talked about is the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I mean, this couldn't come at a worse time for our democracy. Like, people jokingly over the last 4 years have been like, hey, Ruth, RBG, just hold on a little bit longer, just hold on till November. And like, we imagine her as invincible. She's beaten cancer and she's still getting it again, but she's still fighting. And she's unfortunately, rest her soul, she has now succumbed to her diseases after all these years. And our democracy now is in peril. We already got the Republicans that stole one Supreme Court justice when they blocked Obama's nomination for a year. Now they got their second re-up. They re-up their Supreme Court justice by having somebody step down early, and then now they're going to get potentially a third. And it's bad enough that this is going to come up and probably get their recommended person for a vote as judge. But what's worse is I don't have any faith in the Democrats to do the right thing and fight against it. Pelosi has already said that she's not going to threaten a shutdown. She's not going to do that in order to prevent a Supreme Court nomination. And when you're folding your hand before you're even in the game, it just shows how Democrats are just really, really good at losing, and it shows why this is our defense against fascism. You have somebody who's terrible, and this is we got nothing. We got nothing.
Can I just show this quick video of what Gabe was talking about real quick?
And so you said you want people to get out there and vote, but even that's no guarantee that the White House and Senate Republicans won't try to push through a Supreme Court nomination in a lame duck session, even if Joe Biden wins on November 3rd, even if Democrats pick up seats in the House and maybe even the Senate. So what can you do then? Some have mentioned the possibility, if they try to push through a nominee in a lame duck session, that you in the House could move to impeach President Trump or Attorney General Barr as a way of stalling and preventing the Senate from acting on this nomination.
Well, we have our options. We have arrows in our quiver that I'm not about to discuss right now.
I just want to show that part real quick, and it's just like, come on. Go ahead, Felipe.
I want to, you guys know, I do my best to defend the Dems, whatever chance I get. I say, totally.
That's why we love you.
Look, they're doing something. I try to just look out for them, because sometimes you got to play the game to win. If they just give up, they're going to lose. But there's so many avenues for them to take. They're just kind of sitting there and letting it happen. And it's absurd, because they have the avenue. They have the power. The Senate doesn't run everything. The president doesn't run everything.
Yeah.
They have so many avenues. They can actually start an impeachment for check the checklist of 100 different impeachable actions that Trump has taken in the past month alone.
Yeah.
There is so much here that they could do that they're just letting slide, because they're like, oh my God, the world is ending. We gotta be the strong. We gotta be the rock. And it's just they're wetting the bed, and
they are losers. Just call them what they are. They're losers. Losers will be losers. They have a loser mentality. And they're like, oh my God, we're going to lose votes. We may lose people. When people are telling them, do it. We don't have a problem with it. Show some guts, show some cojones, and go in there and say, this is what we're going to do. And they will actually pick more votes. They will actually pick people like me that don't really for once would be like, oh my God, the Democrats still saw something. And you know what? And if this you want to impeach. We know it's the same game that Republicans play. Yeah. And they never lose anything. The Republican, Mitch McConnell and company will go in there and they'll be like, we don't care about anything. And their fan base will be like, yeah, Mitch McConnell, he's the greatest. And then Pelosi will come in and be like, yeah, we're not doing anything. I have options, but we don't really want to talk about it. And then we come in and they go ahead and steal the seat. And I guarantee you that 50 days from now, they're going to have a Senate confirmation hearing.
Now the question is, go ahead, Izzy.
I was just gonna say, so you said, go ahead and do it, right? Go ahead and threaten the shutdown, whatever. We don't mind. Not only do we not mind, we don't have a choice at this point, because it's not even just about this seat. I mean, we have to think about the fact that most likely, if a lot of people are gonna be doing mail-in voting, it's gonna be Democrats doing it, right? Because Republicans don't even think this virus exists right now. So on November 3rd, it probably is going to look like Trump won the election, because all the mail-in ballots aren't going to have been counted at that point. Yeah. So right away he's going to claim a fake election. He's going to get the legal system involved. And eventually, where's that going to end up? At the Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. So, what is our option at that point when there's practically a near zero chance that he's not going to fill that seat himself. Like we've all talked about before, the Democrats are not going to fight. Yeah. So it's going to go to the Supreme Court. They're going to shut it down, obviously. And what are our options at that point? Literally, what options do we have to just prevent ourselves from being that fascist nation? This is not really, like Gabe said, we're not joking anymore. This is not even we're not even theorizing anymore. This is practically reality in America. Yeah, we could be a fascist nation in 2 months.
Totally.
Less than 2 months. Mm-hmm. How scary is that?
Super scary. And matter of fact, Felipe, I'm going to let you go. But real quick, just to follow up. So we just saw the leader of the House, Nancy Pelosi, says she has quivers, she has arrows, she has weapons to fight back, right? But I just want to show you who was Hillary Clinton's VP pick. I'm about to show you a video real quick.
A reality here. I want to just ask you where you are on these positions, either adding seats to the Supreme Court, maybe eliminating the Senate filibuster, potentially, as has been discussed, statehood, perhaps for D.C. and Puerto Rico. Are any of those options things that you would take off the table besides, as you've already said in this interview, the idea of impeaching either the president or the attorney general?
Hallie, you can ask me hypotheticals, but that doesn't mean I'm focused on them. I'm focused on trying to convince Republicans to keep their word to the American public. I don't.
That's all I need to hear right there. That's it. That's all I need to hear. I don't even need to hear any more from this. Somebody, go ahead, Felipe.
That's my senator.
Oh, that's your Senator John. Felipe, take it from
40% of the people don't vote and they're worried about trying to convince Republicans. It's like it's insanity.
Oh man.
Hold on, let Felipe
go. I think the
go.
Dems need to realize that this fight is going to end in the mud. Like, this is not something that you can walk away clean. You're going to get blood on your hand. Hypothetical blood. You're going to get blood on your hands. It's going to be a mud fight. There's going to be slinging. It's going to be a bad time for everyone. No one's going to look good. But it looks much worse to sit and just beat around the bush like, oh, we have arrows in our quiver. Oh, we have options. No, you don't have options. The option you have is to fight openly.
Quivering indeed.
That's again, that goes back, man. And I hate to keep saying it's a loser mentality, man. Democrats are always like, oh, I try to get the to work with us, and Republicans are like, F you. We don't care what you think. With you.
But the crazy thing is, John, somebody came up with these. That was a perfect list of things to do. I would add on top of that the idea that we have to impeach Clarence Thomas, and this is like 6 different things that we could just bombard the airways. We got AOC was talking with Chuck Schumer. They had a little conference. Even if they don't mean it. This is how you put pressure on the Republicans. You know, Mitch McConnell is going to be ramming this down people's throats, right? If we put pressure on, not Mitch McConnell because he don't give a crap, but the other Republicans like the Mitt Romneys and all these other people that might be on the fence, we might be able to put enough pressure. But I don't know, somebody else.
Listen, they need to go out there and tell them straight up, if you do something and you go against your words, you are going to regret this. And they need to make sure that they know. At this point, American politics become a joke. Everybody knows there's a joke. So I don't understand why Democrats always feel that they can't stick up for the people when the fan base and when the people are saying, fight for us, show us that you really care. I guarantee you, if this has something to do with a big corporation, Nancy Pelosi will be out there. We're going to shut down the government. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. But this is our democracy, and she's not even freaking fighting for it. They're like, we got options, but like, I don't want to curse, so I just
Listen, the only time you're seeing the Democrats being strong is when they're fighting against the left. Because the only time they actually show strength and they pull together to destroy somebody.
Obama, where's Obama with this? I haven't heard a word from. Has anybody? I'm not trying to blame him, but seriously, anybody?
No. What's Kamala? They wasn't the reason why Kamala was supposed to be like the bulldog that goes to go after them. That's the reason for they picked her for B people. Where is she? Like Democrats are just like, they piss me off, man. This just angers me, man.
Like, I'm not advocating for violence or anything, but tell me, would nothing make Chuck Schumer's stock rise than going and punching Mitch McConnell in the face? Tell me, would a more beautiful scene exist than he just standing up and throwing hands? Like, to spit on the grave and all the achievements of Ruth Bader Ginsburg by saying the country picked us Republicans to run, so we deserve to pick another Supreme Court seat.
Carlito, you look like
absolute garbage.
You're gonna say something.
I was watching and reading different options that the Democrats have to fight back. But the one that I was like, oh my God, this is going to destroy. I mean, they're going to go insane. Just threaten that when the Democrats hold power again, they're going to make Hillary Clinton a Supreme Court justice. They're just going to add another seat if they need to and make her a Supreme Court justice. That's going to
Obama
drive them crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That would be interesting.
If you just threaten that.
Let me ask Izzy this question about the event. You guys, I don't know if you guys saw the event that AOC did with Chuck Schumer. Like, what was that about? Was it going to be effective? Does that mean anything?
As I said, we first have to win the majority, because if we don't win the majority, these questions are all moot. But if we win the majority, everything is on the table.
And also, we must consider, again, all of the tools available to our disposal, and that all of these options should be entertained and on the table.
I saw her speaking outside I think it was a Frederick Douglass School or something like that. I forget.
It was the school that RBG went to school at.
Yeah, I think in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You know, we want the Democrats to fight, and we want progressives to push them to fight. I would love AOC to be that one to push them. I didn't really see that in that quick speech. I'm kind of disappointed about it. I understand the game that she feels she has to play, but again, we are not talking about, you know, not getting a progressive policy here and there. We're talking about this election being our last election. You know, this is not a time to play games. You know what I think about throughout all this? I think about that scene in Avengers Endgame, right? You guys remember when Doctor Strange was there towards the end and he was calculating all the different scenarios they could win this fight, and they came out to like one scenario out of a billion. I mean, those are really our odds right now. I don't see any way that we don't end up in dire straits. And, you know, we have these Democrats out there just talking platitudes like they always do, and not really offering any real solutions to this problem. Well, we do have real solutions, but to Felipe's point, it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a figurative bloodbath. We have to fight.
The sad thing is, this is how cynical I am. I see this as an opportunity for Chuck Schumer to bring, because they had to have a pre-meeting before this event happened, but to kind of smooth, if I didn't have a relationship with you before, let me start developing a relationship with you through this situation, so that, hey, you don't really need to run for my seat in 2 years. You know, we could definitely set you up for something else, governorship, who knows, whatever other, or have a nice committee seat, you know, in the House. That's the cynic in me. It's just Chuck, because it was kind of funny, like out of nowhere, Chuck Schumer and AOC at an event. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just my conspiracy theory or something.
Yeah, man, it has nothing to do with that, man. They have to go in there and they go and say, like, if Nancy want to come in and say, oh, we don't want to shut down the government, I mean, Mitch shut it down for 7 weeks for no reason and got away with it.
That's true.
They want to talk about, oh, it's election year, like whatever. They want to make every excuse possible. You know what? They should go in there and say, you know what? We're going to impeach the president. Why? Because Republicans went ahead and they violated the Constitution with over a year, and they're going against the worst. So they're going to have to take the impeachment process. And yes, we are delaying the Supreme Court justice. And you know what? That will get them to everybody, because it's going to be like, finally, they stood up to the bully party. So they should go out there and impeach him. Impeach him. Why are you impeaching him? That's the reason. And that's it. And they'll be fine. I guarantee that they will not lose any seats. And they will actually pick up some seats in the Senate. But they're always so afraid of losing. And, oh, yeah, we're going to lose the seat, or we're going to lose this. But at this of the game, man, we have a lot more to lose in a Senate seat or a House seat. They have to fight.
I don't think I've ever agreed with you more, John. Everything we've ever said, all we talked, I agree 100% with that.
So everyone, let us know in the comments below. Do you think we're overreacting? Do you see us creeping into authoritarianism or martial law, or just losing our democracy? Which I know we all feel the same way, that we're definitely moving in that direction. Let us know in the comments below.